Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight on WYLN News. I'm Gary Perna. We start off tonight's broadcast on the south side, where police in McAdoo are investigating a daylight robbery that happened 1 week ago today. According to police, they were called to the rear of the Wells Fargo Bank on North Kennedy Drive, where the victim told police that they were walking through the First National Bank parking lot after using an ATM. When they walked into the alley behind the banks, they heard someone running up behind them. That's when the robber reached into the victim's pocket, taking cash and then running off. Police say the robber is about 5 feet 7 or 8 inches tall, wearing a dark blue hooded sweatshirt with the hood up. He also had on blue jeans and shoes, not sneakers. Anyone with information on this crime or who may have saw something, if they're being in that area, is asked to call police at 570-929-2590 in McAdoo. The former Wilkes-Barre police officer is accused of using his position to rape 4 women was hit Wednesday with more charges. State troopers have now charged 53-year-old Robert Collins with 5 counts of forcible rape, 3 counts of involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, and 4 counts each of obstruction of justice and official oppression. A magisterial district judge arraigned Collins today on those charges, and his bail was set at $50,000, which he posted. Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro said 4 more women came forward in addition to the original 4. Originally, authorities charged Collins with rape, involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, witness intimidation, aggravated indecent assault, false imprisonment, official oppression, and obstruction of justice. The Attorney General believes that there are more victims out there, and if you are a victim or know someone who is of Collins, you're being asked to call a special hotline that was set up today by the Attorney General's office. That number is 570-697-2000. Now to Mahanoy Township, where police have filed charges against 2 individuals who they say are responsible for stealing tires from the Hillside Auto near Mahanoy City. According to Township Police, Jennifer Prohibition and David DeRoss were able to be identified after police positively posted their photos of the theft that occurred on June 19th on social media. Both have been charged with theft from a motor vehicle, receiving stolen property, and criminal conspiracy, in that case, in Mahanoy Township. Now over the borough of Ringtown, where police there have arrested an Ashland woman. Police say 28-year-old Lynn Kramer was wanted on burglary charges stemming from an incident that happened back on June 1st on West Main Street. Now, Kramer was wanted for the burglary along with 2 other individuals. Ringtown police charged her with burglary, criminal trespass, criminal conspiracy, and theft by unlawful taking and disorderly conduct. She was arraigned and locked up at the Schuylkill County Prison in lieu of $25,000 straight cash bail. Wilkes-Barre police have taken a man into custody shortly after placing his photo in the most wanted list on their Facebook page. Police posted the list on Tuesday, and within 3 hours, 28-year-old Joel Rodriguez Calderon was taken into custody. He has allegedly fled a traffic stop at the Sherman Hills apartment complex back on June 19th after an officer pulled him over for a broken brake light and heavily tinted windows. Before breaking free from police, he surrendered a bag of suspected marijuana from his pocket. Officers also found marijuana in the vehicle along with a loaded handgun. He was charged with receiving stolen property, illegal possession of a firearm, escape, and possession of marijuana in Wilkes-Barre. Friday morning will bring a clean slate for about half of Pennsylvania's criminal database. WYLN's Julia Wiegand explains why.
This Friday morning, the state of Pennsylvania will be the first state in the country to enact a clean slate law, which will seal certain crimes from public record, which in turn could help people who have stayed out of trouble get better jobs and housing. The Commonwealth ultimately has the intentions of being a national model in giving nonviolent offenders who had misdemeanor offenses the opportunity to reintegrate into society, giving them the same rights for education, housing, and employment, provided they demonstrate rehabilitation or have paid their debt to society.
I think this provides an opportunity, number one, for the court system not to get inundated with keeping certain files and records of individuals and being concerned about those individuals, because it still does not provide exceptions for any type of violent crimes, whether they be sexual offenses, endangerment of children, murder, firearms offenses. They do not have the ability to have these records sealed.
Over a third of Pennsylvanians have a criminal record, and some are held back from employment or other opportunities because of it. About 30 million criminal cases, or about half of the state's database, are eligible to be sealed from public record.
And the difference of this versus having an expungement, this only seals the record. Okay, it just provides it so it's not available unless there are certain types of employment checks, meaning that there's a federal reason why the employer may need to get them. Also for FBI background checks. But it does not destroy the record, so the record is still out there.
Here's how it works. Someone who's had a misdemeanor, spent less than a year in prison, paid off all fines, and hasn't had any type of offense or repeat in the past 10 years will be sealed automatically. The courts have a full year from Friday to finish sealing all the records, but not all qualifying charges will be done automatically. Some first-degree misdemeanors will require a petition, as well as someone who spent less than 2 years in prison for second and third misdemeanor offenses, while checking off the rest of the requirements.
Typically what you're going to have to do is go through the court which convicted you or which charged you, because some of these were non-convictions, meaning they were charged with a crime, but they never actually led to any type of conviction for whatever reason. They went through a rehabilitative program, but they're going to have to go through the court which actually prosecuted the case. So that would be the local county, which they'd have to start the process in. As for the time frame, as with anything that happens in the courts, it may take a period of time before you actually see the process completed.
For more information and possible free legal counsel, visit www.mycleanslatepA.com. Reporting for Wyln News, I'm Julia Wiegand.
A meeting on a proposed hydroelectric plant atop Spring Mountain will be held tonight in Banks Township. Supervisor Joe Clark says representatives of local legislative offices and other government officials were invited to the Tresco-Hosey at 6 p.m. tonight to organize their opposition to the project. The opposition to the project comes from the fact that the hydroelectric plant would be powered by acid mine water. According to the plans for the plant, 2 dams would be created, one near Junedale. The plant would use the acid mine drainage from the Quake Egg Tunnel, which has an output of about 14 million gallons of water per day. The risk of contaminating local water systems with the acid mine water, if there would be a leak, is among the concerns that will be discussed tonight. Again, that meeting gets underway in just a little bit at 6 p.m. at the Tresco-Hosey. Coming up on WYLN News, a new parking lot will be open soon in the city of Hazleton. Plus, the Auditor General has reopened his look into the Pennsylvania dog law. But first, let's take a look at that weather. And at this 5:30 hour, it is pouring outside our WYLN studios, but it's only going to be a passing shower for now. Tomorrow, we are going to see sunny skies, a high at 83. Friday, partly cloudy skies, a high at 85. Saturday, though, we're going to see some afternoon thunderstorms. Sunday, though, not looking too bad at a high of 77. We'll be right back.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. Because I don't use my cell phone when I'm driving, even though my family does and leaves me all alone. Here's something else. I don't share it with Mom. Right, Mom? I have a brand new putter you don't even know about. It's awesome.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilis Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in Hometown in the Hometown Village Square. Krugel's Georgetown Deli and Beer is more than just a great place to grab 6-packs to go. You can also enjoy great draft beer, including their exclusive Friornina milk stouts. Take it to go in a crowler, or mix and match bottles of your favorite craft beers. Or just cool down with one of their slushies. Check out the Georgetown Pub Fare menu, including their Flight and Bites with your choice of sauces and 5-ounce draft beers. Stop in and play Keno or other Pennsylvania lottery games. Don't forget to check out their website and Facebook for tasting events. Krugel's Georgetown Deli and Beer in Wilkes-Barre Township, right next to the Big Cow.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care for safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
An empty lot on Green Street in Hazleton is becoming a parking lot. According to city officials, the vacant lot that once housed a commercial building with a 350-gallon oil storage pit will be paved later this week and used for parking. The oil was pumped from the pit and more than 133 tons of impacted soil was removed. Now, soil vapor sampling did not identify the potential for vapors to migrate into nearby buildings. Hazleton Mayor Jeff Cassat says that while the proposal is to use it for parking, officials have not decided right now whether the city will keep it or sell it. The mayor does welcome the progress at that old site in Hazleton. Pennsylvania's House of Representatives is advancing a just-unveiled $34 billion compromise budget plan after hard criticism by rank-and-file Democrats. There was even a floor fight over the bill lacking a minimum wage increase. The main budget bill passed Tuesday with 140 to 62 votes. State Representative Doyle Heffley talked after the bill was passed.
We prioritize education, human services. Also, the most important part is we're not raising taxes on working families or seniors anywhere in the state of Pennsylvania. There's record levels of funding for basic education, while at the same time we met our fiduciary responsibility to the pension system, and we're not pushing that burden off to our children and grandchildren. So I'm happy with the overall outcome. We're part of this process, serving on the Appropriations Committee. So I'm glad we're going to get an on-time budget that doesn't raise taxes delivered to the governor's desk well before our June 30th deadline.
The spending plan was agreed to by leaders of the Republican-controlled legislature and Democrat Governor Tom Wolf. Now, the Senate will have to approve that bill, and that can happen either today or tomorrow. The Auditor General shared his plan to revisit his 2013 audit of the Pennsylvania dog law. WYLN News intern Nicole Ambrish has more.
Pennsylvania Auditor General Eugene DePasquale shared his plans to revisit his 2013 Special Performance Audit of the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture's Dog Law Enforcement Office. The detailed report released in 2013 cited an intentional lack of enforcement of the dog law and commercial kennel canine health regulations from 2008 to 2012, which put many animals at the risk of harm.
Protecting the most vulnerable is one of my top priorities, and that includes those who can't advocate or even speak for themselves, such as our furry friends.
It also found numerous problems with the restricted dog law funds being used for unrelated purposes. His office released a report containing 18 recommendations to address the issues found in the audit.
The recommendations focused on ways that the department can better enforce health and safety conditions for dogs in commercial kennels, while ensuring taxpayer dollars are being used responsibly and effectively.
DePasquale plans to follow up and check on these recommendations. DePasquale announced the revisit on Tuesday, and it is expected to be completed later this year.
Not only is passing the law a key, but also making sure the law is working as it's intended is critical as well, and that's exactly what I'm going to make sure is happening.
Reporting for WYLN News, I'm Nicole Ambrish.
And speaking of the Auditor General, Eugene B. Pasquale, he is telling fellow Democrats that he is going to run for Congress in a Harrisburg area district that's in Republican hands. Two Democrat Party figures say D. Pasquale told them and others that he's planning to announce his candidacy in July. They spoke on the condition anonymity because D. Pasquale hasn't made his formal announcement yet. Asked about it on Tuesday, D. Pasquale wouldn't discuss it, saying only that he'll talk about it soon. The seat is held by a four-term Republican, Scott Perry, who owns one of the most conservative voting records in the U.S. House of Representatives. Pennsylvania voters would be able to vote in primaries even if they are not Democrat or Republicans, and have an easier absentee ballot deadline under election law changes being considered by the state legislature. The state Senate on Tuesday voted 42-8 on Tuesday for a bill that would let unaffiliated voters decide which major party primaries they want to cast their ballot in. The Senate also voted 30-20 to end straight ticket voting that lets people cast all their votes for a single straight party. The House subsequently teed up a bill which is set for election rules that changes, and it could pass as early as today. Some departments in the Luzerne County Courthouse are still slowly recovering from a cyber attack that took place back in May. The information technology workers have gone through many technical difficulties in restoring the databases. The assessor's office had to be closed because it wasn't able to access its database. Employees in the deeds office are using another software program to allow for the recording of deeds. The coroner's office also experienced problems. Now, records that are more than 6 months old have been retrieved from the archives. Sheriff sales have been postponed until August 2nd. Now, Archery Advisors, a computer security firm that has been working with the county to restore the system and conduct a forensic investigation into how this attack happened. The Wilkes-Barre Parking Authority has purchased the Park and Lot East Parkade from the city for $1.55 million. The lot is located at East Market and North Washington Streets across from City Hall and has more than 280 spots. The city considered a higher offer of $2 million from a private group last year, but City Council indicated it would not support the sale of the revenue-producing asset. The city then entertained the authority's offer for the approval of the venue in order to keep the facility in the public hands and guaranteed a source of revenue income for the city. Coming up on Hazelton's News Choice, an annual golf tournament will be coming up. We'll have the details on that, and we also learn about a change that's coming to the Pennsylvania Lottery. But first, in Community and You, we talk with an emergency room doctor about pool safety. That's coming up on Wellness Wednesday. Stay with us.
Don't make the big box mistake. Shop local and save at Grand Central in Hazelton. Get better prices than the big box store on our huge selection of furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics at Grand Central in Hazelton and at the Laurel Mall.
It's Hemi again from All-American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Tamaqua to let you know we're going topless during the Jeep Celebration event where you get the lowest prices and no sales gimmicks. So head into summer in a new Jeep from All-American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram where there's no bones about getting dealer invoice pricing every day.
S.J. Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Don't make the big box mistake. Shop local and save at Grand Central in Hazelton. Get better prices than the big box store on our huge selection of furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics at Grand Central in Hazelton and at the Laurel Mall.
Welcome to Community and You here on Wyln, everyone. I'm Gary Perna. Today I'm joined by Dr. Andrew Miller, and we're talking about pool safety and drowning here on Wellness Wednesday. And it's a very serious topic because we see now in the summertime more and more cases of children and young adults drowning or having injuries due to pools and some unsafe practices around them. So, Dr. Miller, what are some of the big things that we need to look out for? And it's really shocking how we see these statistics skyrocket at this time of year.
Absolutely, Gary, and thanks for having me. We see about 1,000 children every year die in pools, and this is something that is totally preventable, especially in the children age under 4. 1 to 3-year-old, it's the leading cause of injury in that age group, and so it's really important to kind of be really vigilant around the pool and have a lot of pool safety. So, for instance, when I see children come in, from drownings, the one thing I hear from parents is that they were there, and 9 out of 10 times they're supervising, but they turn their head for a second, or they thought another adult was watching. This kind of thing can happen from time to time, and so the most important thing I want to tell you is how quick this can happen. 25 seconds, that's all it takes for a toddler to drown. And not only that, but they don't drown like where we see in the TV or the movies where it's loud and splashing and yelling, but it's really quiet. It's quiet drowning. They go under, they slip under the water, and then you'll never hear from them again.
And we see now, well, there's lots of floaties in the pool. There's these big things that people are putting in these rafts, all that stuff. And people are like, oh, I didn't see them. Oh, they went behind it. But when we have a small child, we really shouldn't have all that other stuff in the pool, correct?
Yeah, no, I think that's really good advice. I mean, just keep your eyes on the child. Don't look at your phone. Don't, just always have that. Have a set of eyes, especially if you have more than one kid. I have 4 children myself, and so I get how hard it is to kind of keep track of everybody, but it's really important. Along with the floaties, what's really important is sometimes, you put like little water wings on or things, but I always recommend the U.S. approved Coast Guard life support vests, to be applied and to be well fitted. There's weights on them, and just make sure that you follow those rules.
And along that line, pool safety. Always follow the rules with them. No running around. Making sure that if you're done in the pool for the day, there's a gate around it. It's locked off, so kids can't climb up there when they're not supposed to be. But also, you said the life vest. Making sure that they're equipped properly and that they fit properly. All these things we need to be aware of.
Absolutely, you have to follow all those rules. I mean, especially the obvious: no horseplay, no running, no pushing in, no pulling kids under. A lot of times you'll have an older child and then their younger sibling, and they want to play around with them, and so that younger siblings they don't realize they aren't as strong, and so they'll pull them under. Things like that we see, and so that's really important. Obviously, the fence with self-locking latches is extremely important. I mean, just knowing where your child is at all time.
One more thing I do want to point out, how important are swimming lessons for especially young children? A lot of people now, we have pools in our backyards or we may go somewhere, but having those swimming lessons are very vital, correct?
Absolutely, and I can't stress that enough. After age 1, I think really starting to get children involved in some certified classes, especially when they get into that 3 and 4 age group where they can really be a part of it. And not only that, but just try to follow that as long as possible. And then with older kids, make sure that they buddy up so that the older kids are playing together. There's always somebody kind of around, and just watching is really important.
All right, so be careful, know what's going on, take your time, be cautious, and if you're not always sure, ask a professional. Get an opinion, know what's going on. Dr. Miller, did I miss anything?
No, one other thing that I do recommend sometimes is, when you have pool parties, right, you have to have somebody designated. And so, adults sometimes get distracted, and so it's not unreasonable to hire a lifeguard, even for your private pool, when you're having these events, because this is unfortunately a time when we see bad things happen.
Very good advice. I never thought about that. So yeah, pool parties, make sure you have somebody who is paying attention and who's certified to know what they're doing.
Right.
Is also a big part. Dr. Miller, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, Gary. I appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. We try to get you all this great advice here to keep you safe and sound during the summer, and especially when you're around your pool, thanks to our friends at Lehigh Valley Health Network. Thanks for joining us, everyone, on Wellness Wednesday. We'll see you next time here on WYLN.
TriCounty has been keeping your office up to speed since 1969. Everything your office needs: office supplies, personal and custom business forms, business cards, office furniture, new and used office equipment, copy, print, and scan solutions with wide format capabilities. Leasing is also available, free off-street parking, and free local delivery. TriCounty Business Machines, 117 East Broad Street in Hazleton, 570-459-0754. Family owned and operated since 1969.
Hi, I had a very minor fender bender tonight in an unreasonably narrow fast food drive-thru lane. Don't worry, I have everything handled. I already spoke to our Allstate agent, and I know that we have accident forgiveness, which is so smart on your guys' part. Like the fact that they'll
4 weeks without the car.
Okay, yep, good night.
With accident forgiveness, your rates won't go up just because of an accident. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilus Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in Hometown the Hometown Village Square. Go Hog Wild for Iron Pigs Baseball. WYLN is televising the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs live. America's favorite pastime on your local network, WYLN TV 35. See the Stars of Tomorrow at Coca-Cola Park. Don't miss any of the games here on WYLN TV 35. Visit WYLNTV.com for a complete Iron Pigs schedule. Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs on WYLN, your home for live sports.
Changes are coming to the Cash for Life lottery game. The game will now have a nightly drawing 7 days a week so that players have more opportunities to win. The tickets will remain at $2 and the prizes will remain the same. Players have a chance of winning the top prize of $1,000 a day for life or a secondary prize of $1,000 a week for life. Either one, not that bad. There will also be no changes to how the game is played or the chances of winning. Cash for Life has generated over $1 million in sales, with players winning over $36 million in prizes since 2015. The multi-state game is also played in New York, New Jersey, Maryland, and Virginia. Still, not that bad. An annual golf tournament that will help support children with cancer and other serious chronic illnesses will be kicking off soon. The Palermo Heart to Heart Foundation will be hosting the 29th annual event at the Sugarloaf Golf Club on July 14th. Breakfast will be served at 9:30, followed by a tee-off at 11 a.m. The dinner and award ceremony will take place at 4:30 at Whitetail Preserve in Bloomsburg. Parents of children enrolled in Beads for Courage program will be this year's guest speakers, and for more information, you can contact Dave or Donna Palermo at the numbers on your screen. Always a great event and a wonderful cause and organization. Well, that's the news here on WYLN. Remember, you can get news updates on the WYLN News Facebook page. I think the rain has stopped for now, but stay tuned. A look at today's weather is next here on WYLN TV.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Having an intimate gathering and don't want to wrestle in the kitchen? Call Whitetail and ask about their food-to-go catering menu. They'll do the cooking, you relax, and entertain your guests. Call Mike at 570-535-6123. When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
Join us this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. You'll meet Major New. You'll hear all about his very distinguished career in our military and serving his country, and also how good chiropractic care has helped him to stay fit. He's also going to give you some very important information for our veterans on how you too can get care. That's coming up this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. Join us.